What's up, everyone? Welcome to the NoLife Gaming Show. Today we got a jam-packed show for you. We got tons of news again. Actually, not really. It's kind of been slow in gaming. But we do have some interesting deep topics that we're going to get into. One being Prey. Me personally have been playing Prey a little bit, and I'm not very impressed with what's going on. I want to talk about Player Unknowns Battlegrounds and how I fucking hate that game. It's the worst game ever made. And then I want to talk about Little Nightmares. We're going to do a review of Little Nightmares. That was a beautiful breath of fresh air, and we'll jump into that later on at the end of the show. Anything else before we get into it? I don't think so. So let's just bring on the co-hosts. What is up, co-hosts?
How you doing?
Hey, what's going on?
Howdy.
Howdy.
Really quick, you guys will see in the bottom right corner our Twitter at NoLife Gaming. And that's where you're going to follow us and get all the updates on the channel. That's probably the only social media we're going to have. We might do an Instagram. Doubt it though, because the Twitter, it's just so perfect for like gaming news and just gaming in general, because things happen quickly and we can just post right up about it. Any new videos that we release, it's going to be on the Twitter. Get you a little notification, and you're good to go. So there's no kind of like crazy all this different social media to check. If anything pops up, we get an Instagram or a Snapchat or anything weird that's new, we'll let you know, and you can follow us on there. But for now, it's just the Twitter and the YouTube, and maybe a website down the line. So moving forward, let's talk about what we've been playing. I'll start first because pretty much the topics, they're deeper topics, so we'll talk more about them later. But I've been playing Prey and Little Nightmares. I beat it last night on stream. Excuse me, which you can watch up on our Twitch account at NoLives. You'll see it right there. And I was very impressed with that game. Prey, not so much. But I'm starting to kind of get into it a little bit more. You know, I'm more heavily into like stories in games. And this one's kind of cool. They got some cool things that they're doing with the story. It's just the game that I'm kind of having issues with. But we'll talk about that later. What about you guys? Anything new?
Let's see. I've been playing this new game. I've been on like a little bit of a roguelike spree for the past couple of days. Been playing a game called Immortal Redneck, which sounds ridiculous, and it kind of is. It's like a first-person shooter roguelike type game where you kind of like Eldritch, if you ever played that game, Eldritch for Steam. You have classes, you go into the pyramid, you try to make it as far as possible. You get scrolls that give you passives. It's I don't know, it's an interesting game so far. Not too impressed with it. The gameplay, like the actual gunplay, it's kind of like a arena type shooter, kind of like Serious Sam or something like that. But the gunplay doesn't feel that great. It feels none of your guns feel like they have weight or anything to them. So you'll shoot something, and the only indication that you hit it, you get is that it'll just blink, and then when it dies, it'll like ragdoll for half a second and disappear. Now, it's not satisfying. Yeah, it's not too satisfying.
I got the gameplay up on the video down at the bottom, and it looks like there's 3 classes. Is that what?
No, there's more than that. You unlock it through a skill tree, which is an actual tree.
Okay, that's cool.
It's kind of weird.
I'm into that.
Yeah.
That's fun.
So you have this skill tree that say like you'll have 5 points of attack, and once you upgrade that attack all the way, you'll unlock a class that you can purchase. And the skill tree goes all the way up. I think there's like 5 or 6 different classes. I haven't played it too much yet. That's why I only have 3 classes. But it's an interesting game. I can see you putting some hours into it. The floors are a little bit too big for a roguelike, in my opinion. If the floors were a little bit smaller and the gunplay would be a little bit better, I think that it would be a really good game. It's only like $20, so you could probably sink a lot of time into it. It's really not too bad, but I would definitely wait on it.
So do you start with 3 characters or only 1?
No, you start with one
Okay,
character.
that's what I was thinking. Okay.
Yeah, you start with one character, the Redneck, and he is a fucking terrible class with the most horrible guns. You got like a little shitty pistol. You got the worst
Sawed
shotgun.
Just
You have the worst shotgun I've ever seen in any game. This shotgun is terrible, but you get dynamite. Dynamite's pretty.
Oh, yeah. All right. Yeah.
So
Yeah, man.
are these procedurally generated?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's kind of like
yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of like Binding of Isaac in the sense that the rooms have been prefabricated, but they just kind of stick them randomly together. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Kind of like developers. Because I've seen this. I've only played for maybe like 2 hours, 3 hours, but I've seen the same rooms already. Okay. So yeah, so they made the rooms, and the computer just randomly will stick rooms together to create the floor.
That makes sense. Now it looks like the field of view is like super wide. It's kind of making me dizzy.
You can actually adjust.
Mr. Wayne. Who's Mr. Wayne?
Oh no, that's a scroll. Which, if you're at that part of the gameplay, then you will see that in the options. Yeah, no, there's an options. All right, so one of the options is you can auto pick up scrolls, and it's automatically on. I would suggest you turn that off because, as you can see, like the first scroll I pick up out of that set was you lose 50% of your health, but you get 2 more scrolls. And so what happened was I picked that up, lost 50% of my health, 2 more scrolls popped out, and then I picked up another scroll, and then I went to pick up the other scroll in mid-battle, and it was that you lose 50% of your health and you get 2 more scrolls thing.
Oh, okay.
And so I got like chunked down.
That's
in a matter of like seconds. And then I was like, oh, okay, well, I'm going to try to grab this one last one. And somebody shot me one time and I died.
Now, how is the like the enemies? How are they? Are they satisfying to kill?
No. Like I said, they are not satisfying to kill. Like I said before, it really contributes to the lack of weight you feel like you have with your guns, because the only indications you get when you hit somebody is they'll blink white, and they won't stagger, they won't stutter or anything like that. They'll just blink white, and then when you kill them, they just ragdoll for probably half a second, and then they disappear from the map.
Yeah.
And so, what do you say? Enter the Gungeon's better.
Oh yeah. I'm really a really big fan of Binding of Isaac. I've put tons of hours into Binding of Isaac. I probably put 600-700 hours into that game, and
wow,
over its iterations, different iterations and expansions and all that. But yeah, so I'm going to like something like Enter the Gungeon better than something like this. I believe all of the first-person roguelites like this, like Eldritch and stuff like that, I believe that they all have this problem, though. I think that the gunplay is not that good. If somebody would develop a game like this and make the gunplay feel more satisfying, I believe that would
I would be so into
success.
I would be very into like a procedurally generated dungeon game that's all about like statting up, getting the best loot, whatever, and the gunplay is just like on fire, almost like Destiny's gunplay. I think is one of the best, and if they kind of incorporated like this kind of gameplay into it with that kind of shooting mechanics, I would be a very happy man.
I would say like Borderlands procedurally generated. I would dig that kind of game because I really love the game, like the gunplay of Borderlands series.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah. Plus, you
and
can
the art style.
Yeah, and the customizing is really what draws me in. Like, there's just so many guns and customizations you can do. I love that stuff.
Well, you might want to look into. It's not a first-person shooter, but you might want to look into Binding of Isaac.
Dude, I was just about to buy for the Switch, and I was like, "Is this game even that good?" And then I looked at reviews, and people are like, "This is like a must-have game." So I'm probably gonna be playing that soon.
It's probably cheap too, and
it's not on the Switch, unfortunately.
It's well, you can get it physically, which is something that I think it's the only system that you can get it physically for.
Oh, that'd be cool.
You can get it physically for the Switch.
Yeah, I think it's like $40 for this physical Switch copy.
Never.
Yeah, but it's Binding of Isaac, and then it's 2 expansions.
I was gonna say, I think it's all the DLCs.
Yeah, it's got everything.
So it's like a procedurally generated dungeon. I know that. And then is it?
Yep.
It's almost like a Zelda style gameplay, like fighting.
Yeah, you could say it's like Zelda.
Sorta, yeah.
Meets Smash TV, kind of.
Okay.
Yeah. It's a lot more fast paced. A lot more
yeah.
fast paced.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's definitely worth it. I would look at videos of it. It's definitely worth it.
I'm gonna buy that tonight because that just sounds fun as fuck, dude.
Oh yeah, and
you
then
you definitely get spend a lot of time into it because it's a rogue, like, so you die in the first 5 minutes and then you just start again and you keep going and you keep going and you just keep replaying it.
Yeah.
You're bad at the game when you start off, and then you slowly get better.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, that's like Shovel Knight. I mean, I love Shovel Knight, and it was just because of that. Like, you start off and it's like you're so bad. At the end of the game, you're the best shoveler in the fucking nation.
You're the best shoveler that has ever been knighted.
I keep cussing. I'm trying not to, but it just flies out. It's so hard.
Yeah, I feel that. I've been, don't worry about it.
What have you been playing, Jerry?
Ah, shit, dude.
I don't know. It's harder than it looks.
I almost went, all right, edit this out. I just went, shit, dude. My first reaction was fuck.
I'm definitely not editing that out. It's definitely staying.
But basically, I've been playing a lot of Diablo 3 still. So I'm still going ham on that season because I'm still an alcoholic at heart. So I've gotten to Greater of 70 on the Crusader. I still have the Hardcore Wizard still alive. I still have a Witch Doctor at 70, and now I have a Demon Hunter at 70.
Nice.
So I've been playing a lot of that. Went back to play some Overwatch with some of our friends. Played a little bit of Deus Ex again, and that was kind of fun.
The newest one?
Mankind Divided?
Yeah, the first of the revamp.
Have you played any of the I can't remember what the mode is called. It's the Breach.
No.
I haven't played any of the Breach yet, even though I've owned the game for a while. And I've been meaning to put it back into my PS4 and try it out again.
I haven't played any of that. I kind of want to, but I just wanted to play through it again because I saw some similarities with some other games we'll talk about later. But I also booted Civ 6 back up and got sucked back into that.
I love Civilization.
Dude, they're so good. Civ 6 still isn't there for me.
Well, I mean, you got to think that it doesn't have as much DLC backing it up as Civ 5.
I know.
If you were just getting into the Civilization franchise,
By 5.
I would suggest buying 5 on sale because you'll get all the expansions and 5 for probably $12. Yeah.
That's what I
Steam
did.
sales, they're a lot. Yeah, Steam sales a lot. You can buy Civ 5 and every expansion pack and DLC for like $12.50.
Yeah.
I have never played Civilization, not one.
They're fun. I've been playing 5 a little bit. It's one of the games my PC can still handle.
How do you play that game a little bit?
Yeah,
I haven't had the time.
That's
with
fair. Yeah.
Persona and all the other things that I've been finishing.
Yeah, I definitely Civilization is definitely one of those games where I'll be like, okay, I'll just start up a new game and I'll play it for like 30 minutes or an hour and I'll be done. And then next thing I know, I'll look down and it's like 4 hours later and I'm like, oh, all right.
Yep.
Okay.
It's like, okay, I want to do the hardest. I want to do Deity, and I'll see you guys in a week.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've never played a Civilization. I like RTS games, I like tactical games, but this looks like it's just way too much reading that I gotta do and knowing things, and I just haven't wanted to get into it.
That's fair. I will say it looks a lot harder and more in depth than it really is.
Yeah.
Like there is a small learning curve to it, but like once you figure it out, it's actually really streamlined.
Yeah.
Like there's actually not a huge amount of reading. Like the first couple of games, you'll definitely want to like read a lot and figure out like what your strategy is going to be. But I mean, it's a 4X game, so like there's always going to be that path you want to take. There's going to be a cookie cutter type path that is going to be the best for the type of victory you're trying to go after.
Mm-hmm.
Which as a new player, your type of victory should always be science.
Yes. Yes.
Science is the easiest victory.
Yep. Science is always the easiest.
Unless you're playing as Rome.
Yeah, but that I wouldn't suggest that to like a new player, because like that's gets a lot of fun, but like the combat is kind of difficult if you don't know what you're doing, especially in 6. I will say I think 6 is actually a lot more punishing early game than 5 was.
And you know why? That's because the movement was changed to where you can't move one and attack. You have to use your full turn to attack. Your movement is a little bit different in that game, and that's why it's so much more difficult in tactics.
Yeah, well, it's that, and also barbs are a lot harder.
Yeah,
they're a lot harder. They're actually relevant now, which is kind of cool. But that and I don't know. It's going back between 5 and 6. I do think some of the obviously some of the economic values were changed, but I think some of the scaling was dramatically changed where like I do think everyone else can pump out a lot more units than they could in 5.
You know what I think it was? I think it is the fact that like I look at Civilization and then I go, why don't I just play like Age of Empires or StarCraft 2 or like these RTS games that have a lot more action and fluidity to them? And I think that's the only reason why I haven't picked it up, because it looks cool. It looks like a game that I'd be into, like to, just play these long games that last like, I don't know, how long does the game last if you play for like an hour or 2 a day?
If you were to, I think at an average, most of my games have lasted like 6 to 10 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could see it, lasting. That sounds like a great game for a Switch device.
Yeah. Oh my God, that would be great. Yeah.
The Switch. Shout out to the Switch. Fucking greatest console ever made. So far.
That, or if like Microsoft would make like a good Windows tablet.
Yeah. That
would be cool too.
Dope. Or Nvidia or a GeForce tablet that runs Steam games.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
With the Steam controller, with the mouse pad things. What? Yo, Steam, hit me up. I got an idea for you.
But Civilization,
Volvo,
Civilization is definitely one of the games where if you so like strategy but you prefer macro, Civilization is your thing. If you prefer micro, play StarCraft and the Age of Empires. But I never enjoyed micro all that much, like micromanagement.
Yeah,
like I don't care like how my units are positioned to
to a
really small level. Yeah,
yeah. Like
the frame.
Yeah. Like I'm a huge fan of both of them. Like I like I was raised on RTSs. Like,
Command and Conquer, dude.
Yeah, I was gonna say the Command and Conquers and Warcraft 3 were like my go-tos growing up.
Yeah.
Like along with the Zeldas and stuff, but like for PC it was just straight Command and Conquer. Like me and my dad loved those games, so we'd just play with each other all night. You know what I mean?
That was the hiatus of the RTS, was like Command and Conquers, Age of Empires 2. What else was out there? Dune.
StarCraft.
Remember
Dune? Yeah, I remember Dune.
Dune was sick.
Rise of Nations.
There was a bunch of them. There was
Command and Conquer Generals was still
Total
the best.
Annihilation was another one. Oh man, I used to love that genre.
Total War.
Not so much anymore.
Total War, yeah.
I haven't.
Total War is getting back to that
RTS
macro though. Because I would say Total War is more macro.
Did you see? Is that by what's the studio that does that? Fuck, I forget the name. But I think they just did an interview on IGN or GameSpot. The guys who do Total War.
About how a lot of people are pissed they're not doing historical.
Yeah, they're doing Warhammer Total War now.
They did say they're gonna switch it every year. So they have 2 teams. One's working on a Warhammer and one's working on an actual historical. Because a lot of people really like the Warhammer ones, but a lot of their hardcore fan base is like, "Nah, dude, I want some ancient civilization, not space orcs,
space guns."
Yeah, I think space is. I don't know. Space is kind of cool. I'm not too opposed to space.
Total War Shogun.
Oh, Relic,
Total War.
Relic Entertainment. That's the.
Yeah.
When THQ
Relic used to do a lot of the good old RTSs too. What's it called? Coming to Heroes. Didn't they do that? Yeah. Pretty sure.
They did. Here and that's down on the bottom. GameSpot interviews them. They go through their history, and it's actually really interesting. They were just these dudes who just wanted to make like a badass RTS game, so they made that Homeworld game. I don't know if you guys remember that.
Yeah.
With like the spaceships that was like the first time like fucking spaceships flew around. I remember I wanted that game so bad but my PC wasn't strong enough to handle it. That was like super intensive at the time. And then I think they did Warhammer, and then they got into like the Total War series and stuff. And they did some Space Marine game, and then fucking THQ tanked, and that's the history of that. And you can go check it out at GameSpot.
That'd be pretty cool.
They actually released a Homeworld HD remaster on Steam not too long ago.
Oh
Yeah.
really?
Yep.
That's pretty cool. Maybe I'll get it. I always wanted to play that game. All right, Jerry, you been playing anything before we move on to news? Anything new?
I've been playing a lot of Mario Kart.
Doobie, I meant to say. I don't know why I said Jerry.
I've been playing a lot of Mario Kart, just trying to get better at 200cc.
What's your rank at?
I haven't been playing online. I've been doing just the like regular stuff to try to get Gold Mario unlocked.
Have you played online at all?
A little bit. I've played with some friends. We do like one of my friends. We do like Friday nights. We'll play battle mode, and we'll play just 200cc. I've been finding like 200cc, like anything below that now, even 150 is too slow for me.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta go fast.
How's the net code though?
It's. I've only been kicked twice so far. It's not as bad as the Wii U one was. I'll say that. I'm hoping the net code will get better. I'm hoping when they do the paid online that's gonna fix some things. Because if they roll out a paid service that's still shit, then we're gonna have a problem.
Yeah.
Even if it is only $30 a year, that's still like no excuse.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's server time.
Yeah, like I mean, I'm hoping because Splatoon ran off of like people you were connecting to other people. So if somebody else on your team had a bad connection, that screwed everyone over.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be better when they have dedicated servers. But yeah, I've been playing a lot of Mario Kart, and then I'm looking to pick up Kameko on the Switch. It's a little indie title. It's like $5, but it looks pretty cute. It's like a little bit like an older Zelda title, kind of anime inspired. It's like $5. I'm like, that's worth it. And I've been watching some people play it. It looks fun. And lastly, I've been playing some older Fire Emblem, getting ready for the new Fire Emblem Echoes coming out.
On Switch?
It's actually the last one coming out for the 3DS.
Yeah, buddy.
We'll be discussing the future of Fire Emblem later.
All right. Sounds good. Yeah, Mario Kart has been a blast. Still having fun with it. It loses its luster kind of after like the first couple weeks, I think. Once you start to realize that the gameplay is really reliant on how much you like the maps and the tracks, because it can get really frustrating really quick. And after you've played for a while, that frustration kind of leads me to just say like, fuck it, I'm playing something else.
Not to mention, I mean, the rotation is kind of like, there's some maps I never see in rotation when you play online, unless you hit random.
That's a good point, yeah.
Which I'm kind of like, I don't like. I've barely ever seen the mountain one, and I love that track.
You know why the gameplay gets stale so quick, right? I'm gonna do a quick throwback to last week. Unlockables. There's no unlockables.
Yeah.
Is there any other unlockables in the game?
There is a little bit.
You get a little bit in cart parts, but there's really no character unlockables.
Yeah,
like, cart parts are kind of cool, but like it's not enough.
They need like a crap load of car parts, because basically right now there's only like a few classes that are just the best, and it's like the heavy slick tires, standard cart, and then like the parafoil. Everyone races that. Everyone's a Bowser with that same car. So they need to kind of really divvy it up and allow more balance. No one's playing lighter classes online, and I like to play it online. That's how I enjoy the game, because I'm so dang good at it. But other than that, I'm kind of starting to like feel like it's more of a party game now, and I'm just like,
Yeah.
I'll whip this out when friends come over. Other than that, I'm probably not going to be playing too much of it in the future.
That's always been my problem with Mario Kart games, actually. Is like they're a lot of fun. They are one of the best party games, but they're a party game.
Mm-hmm.
Like
say,
I can't. Me personally, I hate saying like, yeah, I'm gonna spend $60 on a game I know I'm gonna play for like a week, and then it's just on the shelf for whenever I have a party or like friends over.
I will say, having it being portable, I've been playing a little bit more on the go than I, like if I go to Philly, I go to the city, I'm waiting, like the other night I went to a concert and I was sitting for 40 minutes, like waiting for Paco to pull out my Switch and play Mario Kart for 40 minutes.
Yeah, I can see that.
It's a good time. It's a good time killer.
Yeah,
that would get me to play it more. Yeah,
it's definitely a great like quick game. But then you're like someone, I can hear an echo on someone's speakers. But I feel like it's like after that initial luster wears off, you kind of just want to get something else. I don't know. You start to feel like it's a novelty game after a while, and it's only there to act as a party game. But because of the Switch, it kind of lives on this platform, because you can just whip it out anywhere and have 2-player Mario Kart, and that is phenomenal. Like anywhere you go, have a picnic or something, I don't know, you can be outside, 2-player Mario. That's awesome, and I think that that kind of gives it a little bit more life than I initially was assuming.
That makes sense to me, because I was gonna say the Mario Kart game I've played the most in probably 5 years is the 3DS version of 7.
Yeah. All right, let's move on. Moving on to the news here. Darksiders 3. You guys excited for it?
I'm kind of excited for it, I guess. I'm gonna play it. I'm definitely gonna play it. I played the first one and the second one. I liked the first one a lot. The second one was okay. They added more RPG elements, I guess, with items and equipment and everything. More open world than the first one. But I'll play it. I'm kind of excited for it.
So it looks like the main character has a whip, some kind of whip. Have you guys seen gameplay footage of it?
I looked at the trailer, or not the trailer, but the gameplay footage a little bit. The alpha, or I guess it's in pre-alpha right now. And I mean, it looked decent. I liked her design, Yuri's design.
I haven't played any of the other ones. That is not a title that I'm know anything about.
Well, it's kind of like an action RPG in the sense of or stylish action in the sense of God of War. If you like God of War, I think you'd really like it, especially the first one. They just remastered the first 2 games actually and released them for PlayStation 4 and Steam.
Yeah, they're totally worth picking up. Especially God of War. Like, it's essentially God of War, but with Armageddon and the 4 Horsemen. And the plot's like not super crazy, but it's a fun game.
Yeah, it looks interesting. It definitely looks. I don't know. It looks kind of cool. I wouldn't mind it. I'm definitely interested in a whipping character. Who has had a whip before, besides that chick on Soul Calibur?
Oh, Castlevania.
Oh, Castlevania,
yeah,
right. Castlevania.
I think it's like the staple of Castlevania weapons is the whip.
Other than that, who else is there? What is her name? Ivy on Soul Calibur?
Yeah, Ivy.
Which is
Big boobs.
the best character on Soul Calibur. Ivy, for sure.
Well, now I know Wayne's Soul Calibur waifu.
Yeah, for sure.
Always preferred Nightmare myself.
All right, next news topic. PS5 is rumored. Late 2018, it's looking like. This comes from Damien Tong. I think that's how you pronounce his last name. And he's been the one who's been he was right about the Slim, and he was right about the PS4 Pro, and people are saying he's going to be right about this new PS5 coming late 2018. Now, why this is such a big move is because Scorpio is about to come out now. Like, could someone lower their volume or something? Because I keep hearing an echo. But the Scorpio comes in now, late 2017, and then the year after that, Sony comes out with the next generation console. What is that? Do you think Microsoft has an answer for it, or are they screwed?
Depends. Honestly, it really depends to me what the hardware is, because I think both of them are kind of trying to go towards a more bi-yearly upgrade cycle almost. Because I think they're trying to copy PCs finally. That's been the main thing they've been trying to do. So like, I can see it trading off every year, and that being almost healthier for both of them. Because also a big thing too is exclusives, pretty much. That's my biggest thing against Scorpio. Is like, Scorpio sounds really cool. They still don't have half of the only games I want to play on a console.
That's interesting. I didn't think about that. A yearly console release.
Bi-yearly, like every 2.
Oh, bi-yearly. Okay.
I mean, we're seeing that
it would be
incremental.
Right. It would be an incremental update, like upgrade. It would still be, it's like how we have the PS4 Pro. So it would be like the PS4 Pro S. It can still play all of the same games, but it will have upgrade, like a new graphics card and like an upgraded processor, so it can play better stuff, and it can also upscale the old stuff.
So you're
you
saying,
can still play all of the games.
But do consumers really want to upgrade every 2 years their console?
The point is, they don't have to if it's all of the same platform.
right?
But there are some people out there that are going to want the newest, best thing. And that's going to be a hit on their pocket. I mean, you can trade in your system, but you're not going to get much for it with the new system out.
I don't know. I don't think it'll be that big of a hit.
It'll still be cheaper than the PC market. It is so expensive to be like a top tier PC gamer. It's just so expensive. So if you're a console, I could see how it's like, okay, PS4 comes out. Let's wait for the next PS4, the PS4 Pro, and then PS5 comes out. You know what? Let's wait for the PS5 Pro. Or someone can be like, let's just go from PS3 all the way up to PS5, whatever. That way there's kind of like a choice where they could fall into an area. I'm mostly but I'm concerned about how Microsoft is going to answer to that, because right now it doesn't seem like their development cycle is matching Sony. Sony, not only are they, like I said last week,
trying to do the same thing. Not
only are they dominating this console market, but they're dominating like every market that they're in. They just completely destroyed the photography market. And they killed giants, like they didn't kill them, but they really dented giants like Canon and Nikon out of their own industry, just because they know what people want, and they have the production cycle to just say, oh, this is what you want? Here, we'll get it out to you next month. And it's crazy, and it's one of the best products you can get. And that's what I really enjoy about Sony, is how fast they can release something that's pretty damn good.
Yeah, it does depend on what you're shopping for, though. I'll say that.
Yeah,
look at how there aren't any Vio notebooks anymore. Is all I'm gonna say. Even though they were really good.
My worry with Xbox and Microsoft right now isn't even just their hardware. It's what games do they have? They're banking on third parties so hard that where's the first party? Mm-hmm. It's like the reverse of Nintendo.
Well, yeah, they don't have to put out their own games. They're accepted as the standards. All of the third parties going to put stuff out for them. They don't have to do that.
Yeah, and that's my thing, is that PlayStation has not only the same third parties, but amazing first party content as well.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be, when you hand somebody that decision, I don't know how Microsoft's going to hold a candle to Sony.
Yeah, no, that's what I was saying. Is everyone's buying Sony, and I still think it will go that way, even with Scorpio. Just because Scorpio is still going to be playing the same games as the Xbox One and as the PlayStation 4 Pro. That's going to be the same games, and like it'll be at a higher quality, but it's still the same. It's still that same generation technically, and you're going to offer that person, well, do you want to play Halo 5 or do you want to play name any PlayStation exclusive?
Last of Us 2 is coming out eventually.
Yeah, that's gonna sell
Like-
a lot of consoles because everyone's gonna be excited for that one.
And
Darksiders.
Halo is I hate to say it, but it's a dying franchise.
Well,
Yeah, I mean,
I'd-
I'm not
exactly.
I'm not excited about any new Halo from here on out. I'm just not excited about it. I'm
Well,
excited about Halo as much as I am a new Call of Duty, to be honest.
well, that's what I was gonna say. It's the thing with Halo, though. Too, the other problem is you can replace Halo. It's now gotten to the point that it.
It's a good.
Don't get me wrong. It was a huge influence. It was huge, but a lot of games are very similar to Halo. You can replace a first-person shooter now, especially if it's an exclusive, where like Horizon Zero Dawn. Can you just replace that?
Yeah, that's a
Like
great point.
when the first Halo dropped, it was like first person shooters were not a big console thing. Like you had GoldenEye 007, but I mean we can all agree that the controls on that going back are just not aged well.
Yeah.
But I mean the original Halo, like I can still play that now and have a ton of fun.
Yeah.
It was such a groundbreaking thing, but I mean once the members of once Bungie left and 343 came in after Halo 3, it's not the same.
Yeah, that played a huge part too.
They did a good job, but it's just, you're right, it's not the same. It just didn't bring the same energy that these other like Horizon, like you were saying, man. How it's just such a unique experience, a new IP, it's fresh. Halo, it just seems dated. It seems like they're another Guardians of the Galaxy movie or another Transformers movie. You know what I mean? It's starting to be like, okay, well, I'm a super Halo fan, or I really don't care. So
I mean, Microsoft still has. I mean, it feels like they're living on IPs that feel very dated. I mean, they're still running Gears of War games, but that's not going to be a system seller.
no.
Right.
And on that note, who's going to play Destiny 2?
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna play- I'm gonna
Speaking of
play it on
Bungie, what about the new
PS4?
good games? No,
No.
PC, dude. It's actually
Yeah.
coming out on PC.
I know, but
Yeah.
my
Yeah.
PC.
I'm gonna
Join
definitely
us.
buy that for PC,
Yup.
and we should all raid. I know Cassandra.
Yeah, Cassandra
Cassandra
wants
said
to.
he's gonna buy it for PS4 and PC.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Which, whatever, man.
He's playing
Okay.
them on all of the consoles.
Well,
Well,
it's
he-
because
he
he
loves
still
them.
has a rate. Yeah, he still has
Yeah.
like PlayStation 4 friends that refuse to buy it on PC. So
Yep.
Screw him.
But,
pretty much.
Not my friends anymore.
pretty much, man.
I do know we're thinking of making a little raid team or a guild or
Yeah,
something
I'm
for
pumped.
Destiny 2.
I'll just sell my
gonna.
kidneys to upgrade my PC.
I think Shindo's gonna buy it. I'm definitely gonna buy it. Maddie's gonna buy it. Cassandra's gonna buy it. Jeremy.
It's gonna be good. The channel's gonna be a Destiny 2 channel once that game drops. So what is this? Praise Ralph Colin. I don't know his last name. Cole Antonio says Steam's 2-hour refund policy stands in place of a demo. So basically what he's saying, he's like, look, you have 2 hours, you can play the game and return it if that's your demo. That is not a demo. That is not a demo. What are you talking about,
What?
Ralph Colin?
That troubles me so much because what they're basically saying is, look, you pay for the game if you have the money for it. People can't try it out anymore. Like the original point of a demo is to try it out to see if you want to spend the money on it, not, hey, let me spend the money on it, and if I don't really like it in the 2 hours that you give me to play it, then you're gonna have to give me my money back, and I'm gonna have to wait, however long, like 3 to 5 business days, for you to give me my money back. I mean, that's unrealistic. That's ridiculous.
You also can't just refund everything on Steam. Like you have a set amount you can do at a time.
No, I think they opened it up now, where it's pretty much anything in a certain amount of time, which is I think 2 hours, or is it a little longer now? 72 hours maybe, and you can refund it, and they'll give you your money back.
Okay.
And now he's saying, look, now he's taking advantage of it. Steam might be like, dude, screw it, we're not doing it anymore. You know what I mean? It's not a demo. A demo is you specifically give us the best part of the game that kind of shows us everything about the game, but holds back a little bit. That makes us excited about it, And once we beat it, we want to play more. The best demos have sold games for me. Demo discs on PS1 were my favorite thing to get. Everyone loved demo discs.
I remember
That came
the demo
with the
disc.
magazines.
Yes.
Dude, the one that had Final Fantasy VIII on it. I remember that one.
Dude, there's so many. There was one with Fighting Force on it. Remember Fighting Force? I used to play that demo exclusively, just the demo. It was such a good demo.
I used to do that. I still have a stack behind me in a closet that's like, about this big, just of demo CDs.
Oh my god, I want to buy it from you so bad.
Yeah, my favorite one was the Metal Gear Solid demo.
Yes, dude.
The little snow level, you just walk around. I would just play that all day. Like I would just replay the demo because it's just walk around trying to, break people's necks, man.
Dude, that demo was groundbreaking. I mean, you could just play the demo and have a ton of fun with it, never even get the game. But it made you want to get the game, and it made the game so much more fun when it came out. Demos now are so much easier to get. You just go onto the platform and you just download it. So why would he say this? Like, I don't know, man. It just doesn't make sense.
I'll say the way that Kingdom Hearts did their recent demo was they essentially demoed Kingdom Hearts 3's engine in 2.8 because Kingdom Hearts has all the 2 point whatever 1 point like, hey, how can we sell more copies of the same game? But it was like a little story gameplay that showed off the engine of what Kingdom Hearts 3 is going to be. But to play that, you had to buy 2.8. So, I mean, I don't know how I feel about those kinds of demos where it's like you have to buy the game to play the demo.
Yeah, they're pretty shitty.
Yeah. It's cool that it's its own story, but I mean, I just give me a demo of Kingdom Hearts 3 for crying out loud.
Man, Bethesda's been doing some really sketchy stuff these past few games, like with Dishonored 2 when they didn't give out. I think they didn't give out press release copies for people to review. Ahead of time.
Not at all.
Right.
I mean, they didn't even make them sign an NDA or anything like that. They're just like, "Hey, you'll get the game when everybody else gets the game.
Yeah.
We don't want you to spoil the game for people." That I don't know, man. That's just really sketchy, in my opinion. Like. And with this now, it's just I don't know, man.
That's
I mean,
super
reviews are how you can it's a way to market and sell, and you're essentially saying, yeah, we don't want reviews.
Yeah.
They're also really important for the consumer.
Yeah.
Yeah, all of Bethesda. It seems like all of Bethesda's recent moves, even though their games are good for the most part, you know what I mean. I'm not going to mention Brink if you remember that game, but yeah, man. Like even though like most of their games are really good and really solid, have tons of gameplay value, like it seems like their decisions on marketing the games are becoming more and more anti-consumer.
Yeah.
Like no demos now. You have to buy the game and like refund it. You got to take that chance on if you're going to enjoy the game or not before you can get your money back. You can't, download a demo. And then, like the no press release copies for reviews. That's ridiculous. That's completely anti-consumer. That's preposterous, man.
Yeah, like I wish they would listen. Like, I mean, people voice their concerns. Like, I mean, Atlas recently, the American section of Atlas finally got a little bit of a victory over Japan, where they pushed back the whole Persona thing back to like the last important story date, like near the end of the game, from where it was in the July setting in the game.
Yeah, you're talking about the no stream. You're talking about
the stream embargo, and it's pushed back so far now that I'm like, okay, I can kind of see that because the ending does have this big twist and stuff, but it's just I wish Bethesda would listen to the consumer about this.
So next topic, Overwatch, Reddit scandal. Have you guys seen this at all?
Yes, I have. I looked at it a little bit today. I watched the video of NoLife when he was explaining about what actually happened. Do you want me to talk about it? Like explain?
Well, from what I understand, he does giveaways, Overwatch giveaways on his channel, and some dude tried to make accounts, Reddit accounts for those who won these giveaways but didn't have a Reddit account. And what he did was say that he didn't receive the prizes, only not to get anything out of it other than karma and just to hate on this dude, just to be an asshole.
Well,
and
it was I think the thing in question is it was $100 Steam gift card, which the actual dude like posted a picture of where he when you get a giveaway, the giveaway person's like, hey, when you get it, tweet me a picture of it so I know that you got it.
Right.
And so the guy like took a picture and he bought a couple of games with it. But I think the thing that the guy was trying to do by making the fake account, and just posting is even though you do get Reddit karma points, which who gives a shit about that, and people give you gold. Once again, who gives a shit about that? Not me. I guess some people. But you also get like the really kind and nice, naive people that are like, hey, this guy didn't make it right on his promise, but I'm going to make it right to you. And he probably got some money from that. I'm not going to lie. He probably got like a Steam gift card or something out of that.
Yeah, you're probably right. What a scumbag, man. What a scumbag. Like this stuff that happens with these content creators, they try to do something cool, and then these so-called fans come in and just like mess around with them. I don't know if you guys follow like the YouTube news, like Scarce and Drama Alert, but there was a streamer, Ice Poseidon, who does the IRL streams.
I do not watch Keemstar. I'm sorry.
Dude, Taylor Keem. This dude, Ice Poseidon, he's like what Andy Milonakis does. They just walk around and stream their life, which is the dumbest thing you can do, but he does it, and he's been getting swatted nonstop, like in the streets. Cops just come up to him and just like, you're going to jail today, you're getting handcuffed today.
Somebody jumped off of a building in front of him.
Yeah, that was crazy. That was crazy. Well, I mean, that's what's gonna happen when you're streaming all the time. You're bound to catch something like that. But but all his fans are doing this to him, and it's like, this is why we don't have nice things in this world, because there's always someone out there that's gonna ruin it for no other reason other than the fact that they're getting some kind of attention. They just want some kind of attention. They just want a reaction. And it's so annoying. But I think it's only due to the fact that this kind of social media life is still fairly new to many people. So I think maybe 10 years down the line, we're not going to see much of it. It's just going to go by the wayside because it's just going to get old. No one's going to care about it. Moving on. So you want to talk about this one, Jerry? The loot crate drop percentages.
And Overwatch and Broverwatch.
Yeah. Why are people calling it Broverwatch? Is that just
I just do that. I'm sorry.
I've been seeing it everywhere. People have been calling it Broverwatch or Groverwatch or Broverwatch or something.
Grover.
I don't know about Groverwatch, but
like it's Sesame Street. Grover.
Mobile for bros.
Yeah, just play some Overwatch with your bros, and it becomes Broverwatch.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
There you go.
But, yeah, they're having to say what their loot crate percentages are. So is Riot for League of Legends. So is Valve for CSGO. Pretty much anyone who has a loot crate is being ordered by the state of China they have to legally display what those drop chances are, which is really cool for transparency because a lot of people have no idea what any of those actual chances are in any of those games. But the downside of that is it's also just affecting the Chinese market, so they can have different drop percentages for different countries.
Yeah, that's the thing that people. I mean, I really like that they have to do this, but you are correct in the fact that they could have the exact same percentages, and they can be terrible percentages that they're just awful, and you'll rarely ever get something good. But then they can turn around and say, "Oh, this is just for China," which that is what Riot is going to do, because Riot actually only controls the NA and EU versions of League of Legends, like League of Legends store and stuff like that.
Yeah, they sold it 10 cents.
Yeah, I think I want to say Garena controls the Chinese and Korea.
No, Kespa controls Korea. Garena controls Southeast Asia, and then Tencent itself does China, if I remember right.
Yeah, so it's
all
Riot
over the place.
Yeah, exactly. So Riot is actually going to do that when they have to release their percentages to China. Riot's going to turn around and say, Okay, guys, don't worry about that. Well, that's not you. That's not for you. That's just for
Yeah.
them.
Well, also to go back on that, actually, I think I was wrong. I'm pretty sure actually Kespa just controls the esports side. There is a Riot Korea just for Korea.
That doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't looked it up in a long time, but it was messy to say the least.
I believe this is a really good thing and it's a great step forward because it's getting away from that whole gambling aspect that
Yeah.
that we're starting to see in the Riot formula and all the free-to-play formulas now, the whole gambling of, am I going to get something good thing?
CSGO.
And that never goes the way that they tell you. It's always rigged. They rig it in their favor always. I haven't seen one example of it that's completely random, not meant to draw money out of you. Because
that's how they make their money.
Yeah, so it's people need to get smarter and realize like they're gonna screw you. They don't want you to win this stuff.
That is also a problem in its own self too, just because of how rigged those are. That's what also rose to a lot of problems with CS:GO. Is there was the skin gambling. There's also now just even their own skin case opening sites. There's tons of sites that are just they will go buy the skins that other people have already opened and basically make their own case to gamble on.
Mm-hmm.
So instead of you just opening the Valve case for $250, you can open a rifle case for $4. That's just rifle skins. Most of them are 30 cents, but there's a couple that are worth $50, like things like that. Like there's other marketplaces for skins now, which is crazy.
The skin black market.
Yeah.
Dude, remember the controversy, was it a couple months ago with the CS:GO gambling?
Yep.
That was more like 6 months ago, and that was huge.
Phantom Lord.
There was that. Richard Lewis did a lot of great work on that. There was Phantom Lord, there was Team Martin and Syndicate. Basically, a lot of people owned gambling sites. There were
it's
allegations.
Not gambling if it's rigged on purpose. It's not. It's a scam.
That was part of the problem too.
Yeah. They need to get rid of that word gambling. It's not. Yeah. It's a scam.
Those ones were roulette sites and things like that. So it was an actual game instead of just a case opening.
Right.
But the biggest problem with a lot of those was also a lot of the people owned the websites and never disclosed that, and then kept using their viewer base to draw in more users, which is kind of illegal.
And they were like, "Whoa! I just opened up a cool case full of
while
all
knowing
this
the
money."
percentages and having it rigged, and
it was out of control. How did they not go to jail or get fined or anything?
Well, don't be quick about that.
Yeah, a lot of that's deposed.
Yeah,
is he really?
A lot of that's still in court and stuff like that. Yeah,
I guess it takes a while. I haven't heard any charges against the other ones.
There's been some against. Yeah. There were case action lawsuits against T. Martin and Syndicate for their website.
Hell yeah! If I was a consumer and using that,
Josh
I would
OG was on that too. There's actually been a lot of class action lawsuits along a lot of those websites, but Valve did come down and close a lot of them. But there's been more springing back up, of course, because it's just quick, easy money for a lot of people.
Yep.
But no, there's also, that rabbit, if you guys ever want to go down that rabbit hole, go check out Richard Lewis, because he covered a lot of that rabbit hole, but it's huge. There's even allegations that were made against FaZe, like the owners of FaZe Clan owning a website and doing this. It got huge. It was huge. Everyone was doing it pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
That's, But yeah, that just goes to show you that the mobile gaming like ways to get you to spend money, they're slowly leaking into our free to play games on PC. Because on mobile gaming, they'll hit you with you'll play a little mobile game for a little bit, and it'll be like, okay, well, here's something for free, but here's one of them. And see what you get. Like in Overwatch, huge. When you level up and get crates, and you do that in Heroes of the Storm now, you level up and you get crates. They're just trying to get you. From Heroes of the Storm, for the most part, they've removed any way for you to just purchase a skin. You have to get it through a crate to get the skin, or if it's featured, you can purchase it with real money. And so they're just getting you to buy these crates en masse. and you're not getting anything you want.
Right.
I mean,
That's the yep. That's the
Nintendo has the Fire Emblem mobile game, which is
Yeah.
kind of you want new characters,
But
you gotta use the orbs. The nice thing is they have on there what the drop percentage is.
That's cool.
They do.
It's low. It's 5% for like the ultra rare characters, but they at least tell you what the percentage is.
Right.
They do
I like
that.
the way they do that, and I have not spent a dime on that game yet because they at least give you ways to get orbs.
Yeah, that's the thing.
So,
they need to give
That
you
is,
ways.
yeah. But the other thing is that is still a mobile game, so that is their revenue. Like that is their way their revenue is. But like leaking into other games shit, dude. Didn't the newest Deus Ex have a completely single player game? There is no multiplayer to this game at all. It is completely single player. You could still buy boxes to increase your leveling and things like that.
Oh, you can buy guns and stuff. Yeah,
Yeah.
It's
Like
microtransactions
Why?
because it's free money.
Because the game it is not good, and they want people to just spend money in any way possible.
well, not only that, but we're the generational like gaming got really big when we were kids. That's when it really developed, and now we're getting old enough to where we have our own money, but we don't have enough time. So the company's like, okay,
right.
well, I'm gonna get your money and give you a way to shortcut your time. Like,
Dude,
how much is your time worth?
We're in the age of microtransactions and on-disc DLC.
Yep.
And on-disc
Yeah, I don't
DLC
wanna
is
talk about it either.
on-disc DLC is the most infuriating thing on the planet to me. I like DLC when it's done. Like when you have a game out and you want to add more to it, I'm okay with paying for that. When you have a game that's done but you lock content on the game, that's complete bullshit.
Yeah, that's out of control. Well, let's move on. We've got oh, fuck, I didn't put it up. There's a band playing outside of my damn window right now, like a drum line. It's so annoying. Sorry. Anyways, AMD Vega benchmarks leaked. Benchmarks and and some specs, some key specs Vega, which is kind of a big deal. It's kind of a big deal. Everyone's been waiting for Vega's answer or AMD's answer to what's it called? Can you guys hear that? Let's just wait a second until this stupid ass band leaves.
Yeah, it sounds like Nick Cannon is outside of your window, just fucking drum lining, man. Crack, crack,
Yeah,
crack.
All right. I think they're gone. All right, so AMD Radeon RX Vega specs. All right, let's read the specs off really quick. Hot hardware. The Vega comes equipped with 64 next-gen compute units, 8 gigs of HBM2 memory architecture. HBM2 memory architecture having 4,096 stream processors as compared to the 580, which has only 2,300 stream processors, 36 compute units. Vega will offer 12.5 T-flops, which is higher than the GTX 1080 Ti, interestingly enough. It's got the 14 nanometer process nodes, 256 TMUs, 8 hardware threads, and it's looking like it's taking on aims with NVIDIA GeForce, the 1080, not the 1080 Ti, which is kind of a shame. But if the price is right, it's actually a pretty damn good deal. And let's look here at the Time Spy score. Yeah. So it's saying that this is from Guru 3D, and real quick, they put an update on their site.
These are leaked, by the way, in rumors, so not confirmed.
Right. There's an update on their site, though, that says, thanks to the sharp eyes of Genius Pro, who spotted that the DVR hardware ID for the entry, which is the number that they give, and that leads to a story that they covered back in December. We also noticed that the ID for a Doom Vulcan result set that was posted from an AMD event. So yes, chances are much higher that this is the real thing. You can retrieve the hardware ID info once you place the result into comparison. So they're saying this might be the real deal because of that AMD event. They had that hardware number up in the corner, and it's looking like it's the same hardware ID as the Vega unit that I guess Guru 3D has. And So it's tiered higher than the GTX 1070 by like not that many points. Like not that many points. And
but, well, I mean, you-
substantially
22.
lower than the TI and substantially lower than the 1080. But that's just the Time Spy score. That's Time Spy is pretty rough on a lot of cards. There's a lot of different factors that go into this. Time Spy is just a graphics score, which scored a 5721, which is pretty good.
You also got to see that it says possible Vega entry, so I guess it might be entry level, like
well,
a
under
1070
board
or the
like
lowest
a
level.
Founders
Well,
Edition.
Yeah.
Well, no,
Yeah.
see, that's the other thing that Vega's still really hard to talk about just because we still have no fucking idea what AMD's doing. They were supposed to be out this month. It's like, well, they were supposed to be out last month. Now it's looking like maybe this month because there's also rumors that there's going to be one high-end card and a low-end card. There's rumors that they'll eventually come out with a mid-range series to compete, like, be a better version of, like, the 580 and stuff like that. Like, there's still there's a lot of rumors that are still bullshit to me.
Because it's AMD they can't compete. They don't have the architecture to compete with Nvidia. So they hyped this whole event up with the 480s and the 580s, and they were such a kind of a disappointment. The 480 is pretty cool. $200, you get a pretty good card.
I was going to say the 480s for what it is, the 480 is banging.
It's
But that is the
alright,
problem.
But you're not competing against 1070s, 1080s, 1080 Ti's.
Well, no, they're not supposed to. That's why everyone's hyped for Vega. Vega is supposed to be the 1070, 1080 competitor.
Right, but it's like, okay, you
The
want to
480,
go...
yeah, the 480 was the 1060.
You want to go either 480 or the 580 if you're like the lower range, and then Vega's supposed to be the answer to the higher range, 1070, 1080, 1080 Ti. You don't want to, like, if you're going to build a PC, which is like most of the market, they're not just building entire PCs. It costs too much money. They're incrementally upgrading their PCs, right? They got a nice CPU. They'll just upgrade the graphics card down the line. Those people are going to buy what they're going to save up for, 1080s, 1070s, 1080 Ti. So if Vega lands there and they can get it at a good price, which I don't know if they can do that. I don't know if they're going to be able to compete with the pricing structure that NVIDIA has. Because NVIDIA has the stock, they have the ammunition to just drop their prices and just directly compete with them. Or they can just release a 1070 Ti and it automatically takes over Vega. And that's the problem that I see with AMD is that they don't know how to fight NVIDIA. They just need to leave NVIDIA alone and do their own thing.
Well, that's what they were doing with the 480s and 580s. So like the 580, like the 480 580, it's a $200 card that's faster in some cases, and it's just as fast as a 1060, and it's hitting that $200 sweet spot. Because like I will say also, a lot of people like that's the mainstream market is that $200 price point.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so that's why they focused really hard on that, is they're making a killing off of that. Like they have that $200 price point almost marketed to the point that NVIDIA started having to drop the 1060 in price quite a bit to be able to compete with it.
How much is it 1070?
1070 is still usually you can get them on sale for $330. So
yeah, they're about $330, $360.
Yeah. Yep. So like if Vega was better, like just as good or slightly better than a 1070 and they could get it for 300, even that would be big.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I don't think they're gonna do a 1080 or 1080 Ti. Like Nvidia's, if you're going for the high market, they're not gonna be able to touch that, I don't think.
Yeah, and the 580s are about 200 to 250.
They came out really high.
I'm
not gonna lie.
I mean, I guess.
I wouldn't suggest buying a 580.
Do you think maybe that they're just no? I don't suggest buying.
Buy a 480.
Buy a 480 if you want to go that kind of area, or you just save up like another month and you can get a much better card, which is the problem that I see with the AMD, and that's why it's hard for me to go with AMD, is because you just wait a little bit longer and you can get something that has 11.5 teraflops of hardware, and it'll last you 4K. It'll future-proof you for the next like 4 years.
You just said it there, though. You just said it there. That's the other biggest problem with that, though. The market's still 1080p, dude.
Yeah,
the big market share is it's 1080p
4K
performance.
TVs are pretty cheap right now. Come Black
Right, but-
Friday, a lot of people are going to have 4K TVs. 4K monitors are going to be popular next year. You're going to want to upgrade if you're PC gaming. You're just going to keep upgrading.
Like
So
you
might as
have
well
you have
wait,
to.
right?
Well, you can do that, but I was gonna say, or if you're still gonna have to wait a year or two, you could buy something now that's gonna do you exactly what you want. Because that's like the major market share is 1080p right now. It's still gonna be 1080p for another year at least, probably 2 years of the main market share. Then it's gonna switch to the 1440. But like for the next couple of years, that like a good solid 80% of the market base is still just trying to do 100 frames 1080p.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing too, is like these high frame rate or high frame rate monitors.
Yeah, those
you
are
gotta
getting
power
cheap.
them. You got to power
Well,
them,
yeah,
and it takes a lot
exactly.
to power them.
It's that they're starting to get cheaper. But the other thing too is if you want to start getting into 4K, things like that, yes, you have to save up for the graphics card, but then you also have to save up like. I mean, if I'm going to be running 5K, dude, I'm not going to want to run less than a $500 monitor on top of that.
Mm-hmm.
So that's another huge cost versus, I got my 144 hertz IPS panel with FreeSync cost me $150.
Yeah, I'm trying to picture like, because this look like it's paired up with the 1070 just from what we're seeing here. Who knows where it goes? Who knows what aftermarket cards can do? But it's not touching the 1080 from what we see. So if it can power 1440 now, and it can drop it maybe, I don't know, like
if it
like
could
near $100 less than the 1070, or maybe $75, $50 less, might be a good option.
I'm thinking it would have to
such
be
a rock solid card though.
That's the problem is the 1080 is really good. Since the 1070 or excuse me, the 1080 is really good. But I'm looking at it as a 1070 competitor almost at this point. Like,
Well, that's what I'm saying.
If this is the thing,
a good card. That's
the 1070 is a beast card, especially if we want 1440. Yeah, but the thing is, if they want to do it, they can't. They're at that price point problem where they can't make it that much cheaper.
Yeah,
like you can start it out at 300, but the 580s already like for an 8 gig 580, that's still already starting out at 250.
And that's the thing, what I'm saying with AMD, like what can they do to make that price justifiable? Like if a lot of people see AMD as a budget NVIDIA, right? So what if they're going to release a Vega and they're going to price it similar to the 1070, but it performs, just as good? What else can they add to it? Because like NVIDIA has the GeForce experience. It's got Shadow Play. It's got Anvil. It's got all these cool little things that wrap you into this system.
If I'm being honest, the biggest thing is FreeSync, dude. FreeSync is the biggest thing.
Yeah,
and it's a great thing.
Yeah, but NVIDIA has G-Sync. It's just as good. Same thing.
No, G-Sync's actually better than FreeSync in my opinion. The problem is, though, FreeSync's a huge fucking seller. Because like I was saying, you can get a 144 hertz IPS panel with FreeSync for $150. You want 100 or for 1080. Even if you still want a 1080 144 G-Sync monitor, that's starting at like $400. There is that huge price difference between FreeSync and G-Sync.
Yeah.
Like there's still like that's just the thing with where the monitor manufacturing has to catch up basically. Mm-hmm. You still have a big premium in price for G-Sync. Where FreeSync's gotten cheap as fuck.
Yeah, I've seen a lot more FreeSync monitors than I do G-Sync monitors, and that's probably because of the price disparity there.
Yep, like that's why I'm saying that will be like even if it's the same price as a 1070 and is the same speed as a 1070, that will still sell it for a lot of people. Mm-hmm. If you can buy that and then buy $150 like panel and just be overjoyed instead of saying you have to buy another $300 monitor if I want to do that. Like that would be a huge thing.
I was really hoping the 580 would compete with the 1070.
Me too.
Vega would compete with the TI, and then maybe they had like a professional car that competes with Titan that you can put in like a budget workstation, which was something that I'm looking forward to. I need something like a Titan, but a budget option. with just like a crap load of teraflops, but doesn't really handle single core gaming really well. Because I don't need it. I just need to edit, right? Fast editing. But they're not doing that because I guess they just don't have the architecture. They don't have the manpower to do it. Hopefully we can see it because they need to get into that space to drive those higher end markets, those higher end cards down because they're way too expensive for no reason. The 1080 Ti is way too expensive for no reason. Just because it can do it, and that's the only reason why that price is so damn high is because they can do it.
I will say thank you for coming out with the 1080 Ti NVIDIA and making everything else dramatically drop in price. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, screw you, NVIDIA, for making me pay so much for the 1080 Ti. Founders Edition. Oh, my God.
Didn't you get the EVGA?
No, I got the Founders NVIDIA. Because I want to water block it, which is going to be fun. And you'll see that here on the NoLife channel, the water block Ti.
But yeah, I was, for like the 580, I think... I don't know. Part of me almost thinks and wonders if AMD put too much stock into Vega, because like, okay, the 580, it's a refreshed. I'll put it refreshed. It's not rehashed, but it's basically a 480. You can get like 3, 4, 5 frames more than a 480. Just like if you're in that price point, just buy a 488 gig with a decent.
It's a
cooler.
Joke. The 580 is a joke. It's a joke. Yeah.
I mean, people have flashed 480s to just say 580. It's the same fucking card.
Yeah, it's a joke. They need this Vega to really take off for them, and it's got to compete with at least the 1070. No one wants a card that competes with the 1060. It's got to compete with the 1070.
They already have the card that competes with the 1060.
Yeah, I guess.
Right. Well, no, that's what a lot of people would tell you to buy a 480 over a 1060.
I disagree, but I think
that's fair. But like a lot of the 480s, they actually do have better performance than 1060. But
like Vulcan? It's probably performs better in Vulcan.
No, just straight across the board, it has better performance than a 1060.
Really?
Yeah. Like a lot of the ones with like the slightly better aftermarket coolers. Like the good versions of EVGA cards, things like that. Like the other manufacturers' cards, yeah, they do a lot better than the 1060 in some things, or like same performance for cheaper. So like, but what I was trying to say is like, I'm wondering if AMD put too much faith into Vega. So with them rehashing the 580, that's almost what it seems like to me, is they were expecting Vega was going to do a lot more for him, especially on like that 1070 level. And now we got to see results, basically.
Do you think that maybe they underestimated what NVIDIA had in their pocket? Maybe they were thinking like this, because the 1080 is a pretty cool card, but it's the people want the 1080 Ti or they want the 1070. No one's really getting 1080s, or they want the cheap $200 budget option, which AMD has unlocked with the 480. If you're going $200, that's not bad. You can't really get much else for $200.
Right now it's if you're starting out, you buy a 480. If you want more than a 480, you buy a 1070. And then if you want 4K at 30 frames, you buy a 1080.
Yeah, I agree.
And then if you want everything the world has to offer, you buy a 1080 Ti.
Yeah.
But
and you never buy a Titan X. Never buy a Titan X. Please don't do that. They're just dumb.
But I don't know. Like what I was gonna say is though, I think even if they have like a really solid 1070 competitor, that would still be compelling to me.
Yeah, it'd be
just because that's like the next big market. Like after that low end market, or like the mid class market, like the next big market is that 1070 market.
As long as it drives the monitor, right? 1440p, I think, is like where we're at now. It's cool. A lot of people have 1080s, but I don't see 1440p being like the next frontier that people are looking forward to. I just see it 4K. Everything's 4K now. So you can kind of skip that generation and just move on to 4K if you're really looking to future-proof, which makes it like that hard kind of sell. It's really not that much of a difference between 1080 and 1440 unless you go ultra wide.
Right. You know. But I was gonna say at the same time, like, you can't really future-proof, dude.
No,
like,
you can try.
We can't
try
anymore.
Your hardest.
Yeah.
All right. Well, it's definitely interesting. It's kind of disappointing to see this kind of thing here. I would like to see it like a little bit higher than a 1070.
Yeah, I wanted it to see like compete with like, okay, that would have been amazing if they could have competed with a 1080 and dropped it at 1070 pricing, that would have been fucking huge.
Yeah.
But it's looking like it's going to be 1070-ish based off of that. But once again, it's rumors. We'll see. But
Right.
I don't know. I always like having more competition.
It does have the HBM2 architecture.
It does. That's huge too for it. That's nice.
Which is interesting. All right, so moving on, let's talk about deep topics really quickly. Well, not really quickly, but
I was gonna say,
Let's
I think
talk
that might have
about
been a
deep
deep
conversation.
topic.
We should have switched that around.
all right.
Well, how are you guys doing this evening? Ready for a nice deep conversation? Loco, how's your sex life? Like, like what the fuck?
You're gonna go deep.
Go deep, boy. All right, so Prey. Let's talk really quick about Prey. I want to throw it out there. This game, okay, it's not that fun so far. I don't know. I'm a few hours in, a good few hours in. Right down there, you can see the gameplay. I don't know. I'll pop it up on the full screen as well. Throughout.
So you would say that you're a demo length end?
I was gonna say you should have returned it after 2 hours.
I should have. I would have been much happier. All right. The problem is that one, it reminds me a lot like Half-Life 2, and Jerry was saying it looks a lot like Deus Ex. Now that I think about it, it is a lot like Deus Ex. Just the way the fluid movements of it are. But the game.
The art style and the controls just scream Deus Ex to me.
Yeah, it definitely has that kind of feel. Like if you cross that and Half-Life 2 together, that's kind of what I get.
But then I was gonna say, yeah, the gameplay, it's wannabe Half-Life 2.
Yeah.
It's you pick up a wrench. I mean, like even streamers I've seen have this problem. I saw a streamer for 2 hours. It was him running around with a wrench hitting. I think they're called mimics. But yeah, they were just head crabs. I mean, their new name, but it's just you're running around with a wrench hitting head crabs. Like,
that
really,
is
yeah.
The biggest problem I'm having with this game are those enemies and the mimics. They are not fun to kill at all. They are not cool enemies. They're just these black like things that morph into whatever. And like you'll walk into a room and you won't know. You'll just hear like spooky music. You'll know there's one around, but you won't know where. And then you'll like run into a toilet paper roll and out pops this mimic and he scares you, right? It's not scary though. It's just annoying because it has like this shrill, just like sound every single time. Every single time you run into this enemy, it just screeches in your ear. It's so annoying. And then you hit it with a wrench, but there's no like feedback to it getting hit. Because they're like this almost like this white noise, like this black thing filled with white noise. So it's like almost like a black hole type thing. And when you hit it, they just kind of just like poof and explode and blow up. But there's no like tactical feel of actually attacking these enemies. And they're everywhere. And that's the main enemy you fight. You also fight like these flying things. They like survey the area and they shoot fire, and those are annoying as well. They're not fun to attack. Every enemy I've encountered so far has just been annoying. The only part that has really been keeping me in is this upgrade system. There's like a recycling system, which is kind of cool. You go up to like these recycle pods and you dump all your junk that you find, and you press a button, move over, and you pick up all these like synthetic materials that you can use to craft new weapons and new things. I like that aspect. That's kind of keeping me in, but it's a very short skills tree, and I can see that filling up pretty quickly and then me kind of losing interest in it. The story is also kind of cool so far, and I hear the story gets a little bit better as you go on, so I'm hoping that the story is enough to pull me through, and I'm hoping there's more of a variety in enemies and that the combat becomes more satisfying, because right now all you feel like you're doing is just surviving. Constantly you're healing yourself because these mimics are so annoying. They have like these weird moments where they kind of like you go to hit them but they don't register the hit and they continue to attack. That's the most frustrating thing ever. You want like a feel like you shoot them, you want them to like bounce back, right? You want to see your attacks being marked on them. And you don't get that with this game, and it makes it just incredibly dumb. Just a dumb kind of feel to this game. Let me fast forward this part here because that's kind of where I got stuck. Let's move on. Yeah, sorry. So here's the. I'm gonna put it up on the full thing here. So here you can see me attacking these, like, they do look a lot like little blackhead crabs. And most of the game so far has been, you go into an area, you're trying to figure out, like, you're following these objectives, and you just, like, look at everything and you press F on everything, because there's always stuff to collect, and there's always things you need to, like, look at. That's kind of cool. The ambiance of it is kind of cool. Like, I do like the fact that you're all on this humongous kind of ship thing that does a lot of these weird VR things. Like, you can see here, it's like a simulation, and then all of a sudden you're outside, which is pretty cool. You can close it down, boom. But it's just the combat. You know, it's our first-person game. The combat has to be good. It's the main point of this game, and it's just so far just been really unsatisfying to play. Looks good 1440p though, that's for sure. I'm glad that they allowed that. See, there you go. And you can see the way I'm fighting, like, he's just like flopping through the desk. Like, there's just, these enemies are just dumb, dude. I don't know why they chose them. I guess it was innovative to have them like morph into like ordinary objects and then scare you, but it just gets really old after a while.
So what you're saying is when you hit something with a wrench, you don't want it to feel like you just swiped the wrench and didn't hit anything at all?
Right.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like.
Right.
Like,
I personally haven't watched any gameplay footage of Prey, but I wasn't that excited.
I mean, that would be a deal breaker for me if there isn't any feedback like that.
Yeah, it's man, it's a shame because I know this game could be really cool if they gave you a better enemy to fight. Like, they can do the same exact thing. They can be the same color, but just have them a little bit more physical, because they don't feel like a physical thing, and that doesn't make it a fun action game. It just doesn't leave you satisfied. And I really wish that they focus more on, like, not doing jump scares and focusing more on, like, setting up good horror, which the next game that we're going to talk about in the review did really, really well. This just relies on jump scares 100% throughout the entire time I've played so far. So I'm not impressed so far, but I am going to give it a fair shot. I want to really play through it and see what I think about it. At least give it another good 5-6 hours and make my decision there. Because like I said, the skill stuff is kind of cool. I'm collecting a lot of these herbs and stuff, and I want to see like how deep the crafting goes. But if it's just more of this, collecting things and fighting these stupid mimics, I am going to just be done playing with it. All right. Moving on.
Just
It sounds like it doesn't build any real tension.
Yeah, it doesn't. It doesn't.
Jump scares.
They just rely on these stupid jump scares from these dumb enemies. Look, so like you hit them, but they don't feel it. They just like morph. They kind of look cool, but I promise you that they're not cool. They're not cool at all. And they're just so annoying, dude. They just, oh my god, I have to stop talking about it. Let's talk about another annoying game that I don't like.
Lots of blue. Yeah.
I just opened up the players. What's the name of this stupid game?
Player
Unknowns
Battlegrounds.
I
Is
opened
this
it up
like
and the
gonna be a
sound's on,
weekly
and
segment?
And you just hear Drumter just going, "This is so stupid." Perfect. All right. So, have you guys played this at all?
Yeah, I played a decent amount of it. I haven't played a lot of it, but I play it with a couple of friends that are obsessed with the game, and yeah, I have fun with it. Like, I agree, like some aspects I'm not that great at competitive shooter type games, and if you're not great at those kind of games, you will have a hard time with this. But yeah, I agree that the kill window is probably a little bit too small. You feel like you're running around and collecting all kinds of loot for maybe 20 or 30 minutes until you finally get in a closed enough circle that you have to fight somebody. And if you don't see them before they see you, then you're dead.
Yeah.
The kill window is really small.
That's the biggest thing. This game is just an hour of just scouring for the same items you pick up every game. Like, you want the same items every game. Everyone wants the same items every game. You got to be lucky enough to hope that they're just there, because there's no like actual, like, you don't know for a fact, like, okay, I have to go to this town because I know that it's got the sniper, and if you get the sniper, then that'll really help us out in this chance. Like, it's just so random with these kind of really loose mechanics about the structure, but then they just force you all into one area. So what happens is you're just scavenging around for a good hour, I would say, you know, with your buddies. Maybe you run into an enemy here and there, and then you just gotta hope that you see them, like you said, before they see you. You shoot for about, I don't know, 20 seconds. Someone drops. It's either you or him. Hopefully it's you, and then you move on to the next town. You just keep moving to the circle, and then hopefully you're the last guy standing. I think that this genre is awesome. Like, I would really enjoy this game if they just fixed the gameplay modes. I do not enjoy this kind of scavenging and then about 1 minute of action, if that. We played 3 matches, which lasted a good 2 hours. Most of that time, we're just walking around picking up items that I've already picked up before. And we're just, you know, moving towards the center, just constantly moving towards the center. I shot 0 people in that entire time. I saw 1 person that entire time. That is not fun. That is not a fun game. And I don't know. I just think that some people, there's a lot of people playing
Some people like it. Yeah, a lot of people do like that.
I don't understand it. Maybe I'm just...
I
don't get it. I don't
if
get
you
it.
if you like that and you want it to be faster, check out the calling.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the culling
Yep.
is a faster version of that.
It's a
little bit more arcadey.
It's definitely more arcadey, and it is less players at a time, but it still has that. You still do have to find loot, but the average game for that's like 15 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
So it's an arcadey version of that, where everything is a lot more sped up,
Another
and
thing
the
you might
maps
want
are
to
a lot
try.
smaller.
Another thing you might want to try within just the same game, player, PUBG, is just drop at more heavily populated areas, like the military base. If you drop at the military base, I guarantee you're in a firefight within a minute and a half.
Yeah, but then it's just a chance of who gets the gun first.
Who finds the gun
Well,
first? Exactly.
welcome to these kinds of games. Yeah,
That is
Yeah,
that is not. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe I'm just not a fan of these type of games, because that's not fun for me. Because it's like a completely chance related. You know, you have to really just be lucky if you want to survive. And if there was more reward, like maybe like some kind of like a skill system, you know, you can get different skills like that you level up throughout your entire play that makes you want to keep going back to these matches. Or maybe some kind of, like I said, there's an M16 up in the tower always. You know, everyone knows it's always there. You can drop near it and get in a firefight really quick. Hopefully you survive and you can go get that gun, and maybe that'll take you to the end of the match. But right now it's just like, you got to be lucky. It's just all luck. I'm just not having a good time with it. I do like the...
I would definitely tell you to try out the calling.
Yeah,
like,
I'll
if
give
you
it a
want
look.
to,
I've seen it on Steam before.
Okay, yeah, it's usually only like $15, maybe $20, but it is that battle royale style game. But it's usually, I think I want to say 20 people instead of 100. But
I think they also have skill progression in that game.
They
too, I
do.
believe.
Yep, they do have skill progression, which would be something you'd like. But it's also a lot. It's much faster. It's more arcadey, but you find things a lot faster. You get into combat within a minute. Like it's a lot faster version of battle royale games.
Now, I don't mind I think the game has a lot of potential, because I do like it to some extent. Like, you know, when you're in your squad and you're kind of just like scavenging around, you're like, all right, let's go. We got to go to the next town. You know, those firefights are fun. You know, once you see like a town and you're like stuck in the woods, you have all open ends behind you, and you're squatted up and you're trying to get these guys into town or steal their car or something. That's fun. But the moments are so few and far between that it kind of just, and here you can see, like, we see these guys after just, I think it's about 12 minutes of scavenging here. And then because they saw us first, we're dead. We're just immediately dead. that's it, game over. And then you have to start the next round, which takes a pretty long time to kind of get into that game and, drop back into the battlefield. But like, I don't think that the game is doesn't have potential. I don't think it's a lost cause. I just think that maybe these modes aren't the way that I like to play, and there needs to be some kind of like consistency throughout its pacing, because right now it feels off pace. Doesn't feel like it's paced right. The chance of everything is kind of annoying. Maybe it's just too many players. Maybe they need to drop the player count a little bit.
It could be that. Have they opened that game up to mods yet?
I'm not sure. I don't think
No?
so. It's not even
don't think
really
so?
released yet.
No.
Okay, right. That might be something once it's fully out. Like, if they offer full mod support, you could definitely see more game modes like that.
Well, yeah, but then I don't know if they would really have like the money for servers, because then you would have to fragment the servers to people who have the mods and people who don't have the mods. Yeah,
That's true. Yeah. Well, usually it would be, I don't know, most mod servers are someone else runs them.
yeah, privately owned.
Yeah.
As someone who hasn't played the game, I watched a decent amount of it on Twitch. I feel like it's one of those games that got really big because of Twitch.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a very viewer friendly game because there's a lot of moments where you can point and laugh at the streamer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the thing too. It's like a lot of these guys who are pretty good at it, and they have these big teams. Like there's just so many of them all together that game together. They can kind of manipulate it to be more fun than if you're just a random person who doesn't really play games with many people. Like I was lucky to have a few guys that I can jump in with. If you're going solo, it gets old really quick.
I was going to say that is also, it's those kinds of games you definitely want to play with your friends.
Yeah, you have to have a few guys with you. And if you have like a lot of guys, then you're going to have a blast because you can manipulate it, where it's a little bit more pleasing to play.
The only way I can see solo being fun is if, like I said, if you stream it and you're playing solo, you at least have, as long as you have a big channel, you have at least a chat that's interacting with you while you play, so you can do dumb things that's entertaining. It makes it an entertainment.
Yeah, I played quite a few solo matches in that game, and it's
and you die.
It's really not fun.
Yeah, it's just not fun. It's just not set up to be fun that way. And like I said, the game is gorgeous. It shoots good. There's a little bit of clunkiness in the menu system, closing doors and stuff. Like little things are a little too clunky. I think they can speed that up. Like with a patch, like now they need to hurry up with that. But the netcode has been pretty strong. There's been only a couple of instances of rubber banding, like pretty bad rubber banding.
That's huge for that style of game, then.
Yeah. They haven't had many issues.
Yeah.
They haven't had many issues.
That's been the biggest problem with all of those fucking games. Is almost all of them, their netcode is just garbage.
Yeah, well, the games are massive, and you have so many random things going on. I can imagine how it just freaks the server out.
Yep. Oh yeah. It's that, and then also most of them have been mods too on already a pre-existing game. Like holy shit, I remember playing the Arma version when it first came out. It was a lot of fun, but you're playing fucking Arma with a mod on top. You're just desyncing all over the fucking place.
Yeah, that can get really. Yeah, I wonder if DayZ is ever going to like live.
The standalone.
Yeah, if it's ever going to actually live.
It's sad that the definitive version of the game is not actually the standalone. It's still the mod for Arma 2. It's actually still the definitive version.
Well, hasn't that game been in early access for over 3 years now?
I don't even want to talk about it.
What about H1Z1?
Yeah, there's a bunch of them.
H1Z1, the game that gave up and just became Player Unknown
Battle
Royale made by Player Unknown. Like they literally hired him to make that game for them.
And he did a great job. He did do a great job. I mean, the game, like I said, has so much potential. Let's get some things going on for players that maybe don't have a squad they could jump into. Let's clean it up a bit, and maybe add some kind of instances of consistency. That way, that like draws people to these areas. Because the only thing right now are these drops that come every once in a while, and everyone kind of chases it because there's some good loot in there. But like the way it drops is random, and you just got to be lucky and just hope you're in the area to get it. Other than that, I'm probably not going to play it until something substantial happens to the game, just because it's just not my style.
Well,
maybe the area, like the map, is too big.
Something about it. There's something that's not clicking with it that keeps it fluid.
I'm going to tell you right now, they're definitely not changing the looting. That's the thing that most people play those kinds of games for.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the whole gambling thing. It's like I can risk going in and loot this one place, and maybe there'll be something good, and maybe there won't be. Yeah, they're not going to change that system.
Well, at least add more to it.
Yeah.
What you get. There's like an M16, M4A1, a SCAR, sniper.
I see them adding a lot more guns. Yeah, I see them adding a lot more guns.
If there was like
and stuff.
like a crap load of guns, and like you drop, and maybe in the next 10, 15 minutes you can get like a good gun that'll take you to the end of the game, then yeah, I'll be into it. But there's been matches where I'm playing for like an hour and I just have a pistol the whole time. You know what I mean? And then you get in a firefight, you finally see some action, and the guy has, 12 shotguns, 10 M16s, he just lights you up.
Yeah, you would hate Daisy.
Yeah, they don't have
you would hate Daisy.
I have no interest in it.
Because that is some of the fun of these games, is they're like a whole night's worth of Daisy in one game.
Yeah, I can see the appeal in that. But I can see how frustrating that gets if you're just doing that and then you just die immediately. That would not be fun.
They'll definitely add more games. More guns though. They just added the Vector. The Vector's the newest gun, I believe, that they added.
Yeah, that's cool. I'm into that.
It's really sick, but it's got a 13 bullet clip. But whatever.
All right, let's move on. Player Unknown Battlegrounds. I'll probably come back to it if they add a little bit more to it. But for now, I'm not interested. But this
play the calling with me.
I'm down. I'll pick it up. I know it's cheap. I know it's a cheap one. Oh, crap. Where is it? I need to bring up the gameplay footage for this. So, you were watching me last night play this game. Little Nightmares.
Yeah, I was in there.
Dude.
I was also in there.
Oh, yes, you were as well. Dude.
It was good.
This game was really impressive. It really impressed me. And it's been a while since I played like a little game like this and was just like, let's get this development team a lot of money and let's see what they could do with it. That's really what I'm excited about, to see what else they can come up with, like a really long, maybe open world or just a longer story, because this was really fun and it was really engrossing, and I think that's why I liked it. Like, I was streaming it and I still was just like enthralled in this weird little world that they created, and you don't know the story until you beat the game. Like, you play through the story, you figure it out on your way. There's no dialogue, it's just grunts and like weird noises.
Weird fat noises.
Yeah. Weird sausage drips and things like that.
Yeah. The graphics are insanely beautiful.
They're adorable. It had some jump scares in it too, which was kind of cool.
Yep.
I didn't watch it last night, but I'm looking at like the trailer for it. It reminds me a lot of like Limbo.
Yeah.
Like those kinds of games. Those games are great. I loved Limbo.
Yeah.
I'd also suggest that if you enjoyed Little Nightmares, that you play a game called Inside. That's a really good game too.
Yeah. I think that's probably the guys who did Limbo, right?
Yeah, it's the same people that did Limbo.
These are the guys who did Little Big Planet. I found out last night. They created Little Big Planet, and the way that it feels is very much like Little Big Planet. Like you're a little puppet, almost like a toy, and you're going through this gigantic world.
It definitely has that vibe.
But they do it in like this weird, almost like Edgar Allan Poe meets, I don't know, Korean horror world that they created, and it's just a really good experience. Everyone that's been playing it has been saying just phenomenal things about it. It's $20, which is not that cheap, and it's really only about 2-3 hours long. I beat it on stream last night in I think 3 hours, and that was with like a couple deaths. I probably could have beaten it a little quicker too if I wasn't streaming, you know what I mean? If I was like actually running through the game. But it was still like, I still think it's worth the money. Like, it was a great little experience that made me understand, I don't know, it made me really want to look more into indie games, just like getting into these cool little indie games that actually have stories. They're not just like gameplay focused, because I think that's where you're going to see a lot of gems.
Yeah, there's been a couple of good ones like this month. I mean, there was the Little Nightmares. There was that Edith one.
I heard that was pretty cool.
Story Edith, whatever. I
Edith
can't remember her name.
Finch. Edith
Finch.
Finch
That's
or
it.
something.
Yeah. A little bit older. Oxenfree still really good for that kind of like a short story based game. I don't know. There's been a lot of good like little short, quick story games coming out lately.
Mhm.
I can name a lot of indie games that I think are extremely good over a lot of AAA games these days. I can go as far back as Braid and Bastion.
Yeah, I agree.
Bastion
Those
and
games are
Transistor.
phenomenal.
Super Meat Boy, and Binding of Isaac.
Mhm.
Yeah, but I just
Like-
mean even lately, there's been good ones coming out again. Like the last couple of months, there's been like a couple of ones that are really, really enticing for just like a quick story-based playthrough. Like they're picking back up and getting really good again.
Yeah.
Well, I can it more to if you ever played Journey. You ever
Yeah,
played Journey for
dude.
PlayStation?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of those kind of games where it is really an experience. You pay for it, you experience it,
Yeah.
and you're not really going to be able to replay it. I mean,
Right.
I'm not sure. I didn't watch the full stream of Little Nightmares, but I have looked into the game, and to me, what it looks like is one of those one and dones.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
you play
Yeah.
through it once, you experience everything, you don't have to go back to it. Which that's kind of unfortunate since it's a $20 game and it's only, like you said, about 3 hours. But if the experience itself is worth it, then you can
I
pay
kind of want to
for it.
see more from that though too. Like I want to keep seeing this genre expand in these short little like really enticing and interesting story games, especially like low dialogue,
Right.
just as like interactive movies basically. Like that could just become like a new medium almost of like, yep, here's $15 for 3 hours of me playing through a movie basically.
That's cheaper than a 3D movie these days.
Yeah.
And that's what I really think this game, why I enjoyed it so much, is because it was like the right amount of time for me with this experience. If it was any longer, I probably would have been like, okay, like let's go somewhere with this, right? But it was just like condensed. You ran through the story. You really got the full range of emotions. Like I said, 3 hours is a pretty long time for like a sitting, and I was just connected to it the entire time, all the way up until the last moment. Then the last scene, I don't want to spoil it, but the last scene, you're just like, yo, this game is sick, dude. I loved every second of it. This was one of the best little indie games I've played in a while. And it's just really impressive. Like, I really think you get these guys some AAA money, even though Little Big Planet is one of the biggest franchises on PlayStation. I'm sure that they had good money for it. But this was so fun, man. I wanted to just tell everyone to just go play it. Like right now, everyone go play it because it's really good. I don't think anyone will not enjoy it. It's just
So are there any cons that you have for it? Because I originally was thinking that the playtime, like the actual playtime, would be a con. But if you're saying that if any longer you think you would have gotten bored with it, then that's actually not a con then.
right. No, I think that the cons that I have,
Value could still be a con towards playtime. Just
Yeah.
that, yeah.
I mean, if it was like, I don't know, $60, I'd expect a different set of rules, right? For $20, I'm kind of just like, let's see what you got, right? You know, I'm hearing good things about it. Let's see what you got, and I play through it. If it blew me away in that little bit of time, then I'm a happy person. You know, it's like spending $20 at the movies. To me, they said,
Show
you know,
me what you got.
and it's so interactive. There's like awesome little puzzles you got to do. There's some real horror in this game, like terrifying moments that kind of just like the geisha scene at the end is just terrifying. The first time you meet the Slender Hands dude, the first time you meet the chef. I mean, these are some like really impactful moments that you go through. So it's just really a good experience. But there are some flaws. One being that there's a lot of glitches, like weird little glitching areas that kind of just like are, all right, that's a little bummer. You're kind of, what else is there? You're kind of beholden to this narrow kind of playing field. They don't really give you much room to explore, which kind of stinks. but then again, it's not really that kind of game. It's like that Edith Finch game that they have this story to tell you whether you like it or not, right? So you're gonna have to go through it so they can tell you this story. And then you have like a few puzzles in the game, but they're basically the same puzzle that you kind of have to do. So it's like you have to find like a little screw thing to open up this door, and that's one puzzle. And then you see that puzzle again, but in a different kind of atmosphere. So that's kind of lame. I wish there was like a more variety of like different puzzles. But then you have great moments of like you're in this kitchen and you're seeing these two just disgusting chefs, and you're like, what do I do? So there's like a meat hanging thing that flies above you, and you have to like climb the plates of the dishes that they're cleaning, like right in front of them. And it's scary. You're like, holy shit, do I really have to do this? And those moments kind of push you along. You're like, okay, this is worth it, you know? And then at the end of the game, they really make you hate these people that, you know, you're running from. They do a really good job of setting that up, and then the payoff is really well done. Especially to the end scene, and then you're done, and then you can forget about the game. You know, you feel like your money was well spent, and that's it. And they just gave you this cool little experience, and I think I highly recommend it if you want something that you can play with maybe your girlfriend, your wife or someone, your brother and sister, and you just want to like, I don't know, you don't want to watch a movie, you want to play a game, but you want to like actually chill at the same time. You don't want to actually have to worry about like Call of Duty style. So I think in that sense it's done really, really well. And the graphics are just gorgeous. The sound design is kick ass. The sound really, I don't know who their sound guy is, but he did an amazing job. When you fight in that geisha at the end, man, what they did with the sound was just phenomenal. I wonder if should I play it? I don't want to spoil it though. It's kind of one of the endings.
Yeah, no, don't.
Just take my word for it, guys. All right, that's it. Do we have anything else that we want to talk about before we get out of here?
We want to cover any Nintendo stuff or save it?
It's up to you. You got anything?
Just only one little bit. As I mentioned earlier, Fire Emblem Echoes comes out in 2 weeks. It's a remake of Gaiden, which is a Japanese-only game from the NES. It was like the black sheep of the Fire Emblem, and this is going to be the last Fire Emblem on the 3DS, which says to me the Fire Emblem announced for the Switch next year is probably in development now. And if we see Pokemon come to the Switch, I really don't see the 3DS lasting that long into 2018.
Really?
Yeah, I think the 3DS is even with the 2DS, new, whatever the hell it is, I really think that system it's on its way out.
The new 66654.
66654 dogs.
The 420 swag 3DS, 2DS, XL new Super Deluxe Ultra Mega Street Fighter 2.
Yeah, we're sitting here making fun of that, but earlier Jerry was like, why don't they just make a PlayStation 4 Pro and a PlayStation 4 Pro S?
The PlayStation 4 Pro new S.
Dude, that's what they're doing. I'm not saying I'm supporting it, but that's what the fuck they're doing.
Either way, the Fire Emblem, I'm excited because I like the Fire Emblem series. And yeah, man, I'm looking forward to when the Switch one comes out too.
I'm looking forward to anything on the Switch, to be honest.
ARMS is that's dropping in June, and they came out and said that it's going to support not only the motion controls, but it's going to support regular controls. But the way they made it sound like was if you play standard controller, you're going to be at a disadvantage because you can't move and punch at the same time or something like that.
Well, that makes sense. Yeah,
with the motion controls, you can move and punch at the same time, and I feel like that's a game that just it looks like a much better to fully developed Wii boxing.
Yeah,
and I think that's going to be a really new IP that's going. I think it's underrated right now. I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
I think so too. I love boxing games. Just you and another person, and you're just swinging at each other. And if they can incorporate like actual skill that you can use, you know what I mean? Because a lot of boxing games, the skill is in the buttons. Like you have to know the combos. But if this is like you actually like you have to like have momentum, and there's like certain things that you need to learn to actually beat someone, that will be so much fun. And I think
Yeah, if
on the Switch, it's
if
gonna
they
be awesome.
announce new characters, the last one they announced was Min Min, which I mean the characters are all really cool and cute. And they already have like a listing of the different kind of boxing gloves you can use and you can mix and match. So there's going to be I think it's going to be a deep customization, which is going to be really good for a fighting game.
Yeah.
I'm ashamed at how many hours I put into Fight Night Round 3.
Dude, don't be ashamed. That game is phenomenal. One of the greatest games of all time.
I love that game.
I
man.
love all fight nights. I just like boxing games. I think they're just inherently fun. I don't know.
So Wayne, we're going to 1v1 some arms, right?
Always. Dude. That's how we're gonna determine any debate that we have. It just ends up in arms, just a battle on arms, or Mario Kart. But I think you're scared to race me.
Just wait until if there's a Smash Deluxe, I'll destroy you.
Oh man, you probably will. I need to get.
I've been playing a lot of Smash this week too.
I need to like go to a pawn shop and get a GameCube just to play it because I haven't played it in so long.
No, I'm terrible at Melee. I'm talking about the one on Wii U.
Oh, all right.
If that one comes over, hey, if Melee HD happens, I will learn Melee HD.
Ice pick.
That's your dude, Ice Pick? All right. I think that's it, guys. Thank you all for chilling. Co-host, thank you for coming out.
Thank you.
Any videos?
Disassemble.
No.
Any videos that you guys are releasing this week that you want the people to know about to check out?
Well, I dropped a WoW lore short, and I'll be dropping another WoW lore short, and probably another WoW lore short. If you like World of Warcraft lore,
I was actually fucking dying laughing watching it.
I'm gonna release a Hearthstone intro to Hearthstone free-to-play video later this week.
Oh, nice.
I'm looking
So
forward to that.
If you ever been interested in Hearthstone and you haven't gotten into it, you also want to not spend money while you get good at it.
Nice. Very
If
nice.
if not this week, not this Saturday, maybe next Saturday, I'm planning on doing a Pokemon Platinum Nuzlocke run. And be about 2-hour playthroughs at a time, and we'll spread it out. They'll come out on Saturdays. What a Nuzlocke is you go into the game, you can only catch one Pokemon per area. The first one you encounter that you haven't caught, you have to name all your Pokemon so that they mean something to you, and if they die in battle, they die.
Interesting.
It's a bit of a challenge run, so I think it's going to be fun.
Yeah, you got to release them if they die,
Are
or
you
you
gonna-
got to put them in a box.
Are you gonna do it on Twitch or are you gonna do it on YouTube?
I think I'm gonna live stream them on Twitch, and the VODs will go up on Saturdays. So if people don't catch the live stream, they can always catch the VOD on YouTube, on
Awesome.
this channel.
Yes, this channel. And then our Twitch is that way right there. Bang, no lives.
Down here.
All right. All right, guys, let's get out of here. I'll catch you all later. Look forward to the content coming this week. And don't forget to follow our Twitter. Peace!
Peace out, Boy Scout.
Have a good one. Please like and subscribe and all that other stupid bullshit that we all hate.
Go pay for our Patreon under my PayPal, please.